So hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss the problem trust nobody. So the problem states that there is a group of n peoples, out of which some of liars which always tells lie and others are the people who always tell the truth. The ith person says that there are at least li liars among us. So we have to determine whether the particular condition is possible. If it is possible, we have to output the number of liars, otherwise we have to print -1. So moving on to the solution of the problem, if suppose we are given n is equal to 5 and the li of the persons are 1 2 3 4 and 5, so here we can have number of liars from k is equal to 0 to k equal to n, that is k equal to 5, right? The liars number can vary from 0 to 5, right? If there are zero number of liars, if we considered a situation where there are no liars, so how the partition in the given array can be, now there are no liars, so we will see here number of liars, that is k is equal to 0. Now based on this, the person is categorized into a person who is telling a truth or it is telling a lie. Now he is saying that number of liars should be greater than or equal to 1, but number of liar is 0, so this is saying a lie. He is saying that number of liars should be at least greater than equal to 2, but number of liars is 0. Similarly, this will also be considered as a person who is telling a lie. Similarly for others. Okay, this was for k is equal to 0. Now if we consider a situation where number of liars are 1, now in this condition he is saying that the number of liars should be at least greater than or equal to 1. Yes, the number of liars is 1, so this will be considered as a person who is telling a truth. He is saying that number of liars should be at least greater than or equal to 2, but we are having number of liars equal to 1, so it will be considered as a lie. Similarly for others, they will be considered as a liars. If we considered k is equal to 2, that is number of liars as 2, so the partition will be first 2 will be as person who is telling the truth and other will be liars. That is for the first, this was the partition, all were telling a lie. In the next, these 4 were telling a lie. Next these 3 were will tell a lie. Next these 2, next this one will tell a lie, and at last no one will tell a lie. So what we can observe here, if we have any particular array, that is the fourth test case, that is 5 5 3 3 5, what we can do, we can sort the array, because we know the partition will be in the sorted array as we have seen in this particular problem. So in this array the partition will be like all will be tell lie, otherwise this the left side will tell truth and the next right words will tell a lie. All the persons in the left will tell the truth, all the person to the right will be tell a lie. Similarly the partition can be at any point. So this was the first observation. Now if suppose we are having this particular partition at any particular point, so how we can know whether this particular partition is satisfying our condition or not? Suppose we are partitioning at here and the person to the left are telling truth, we know that we have already discussed, and the person right after it are telling a lie, right? So for this condition to be satisfied, all the persons who are telling a truth should satisfy their saying, and all the persons who are telling a lie should satisfy their saying, right? So in this particular case we have to find the original number of liars in the situation, because all the saying is on the basis of their statements they are saying. So now we have partitioned the given array. Now we have to count the real number of liars in this particular case. So the real liars are 3. Now we have to find if this condition is satisfying or not, means all the person was telling a truth is actually telling the truth or not. So the first person is saying that there is at least one person who is telling lie. We know that liars are three, which is greater than equal to 1, so he is telling a truth and it is right. Now this person is saying that there is at least 2% of people who are telling a lie. Now telling the person who are telling a lie are 3, so he is also correct, that is he is also a person who is telling a truth. Now moving on to the third person, he is saying that there is at least 3 people who is telling a lie, and yes, there are 3 person a lie, then this should be considered as a person who is telling a truth, but here he is telling a lie, so it is contradictory, so this case can't be happened, right? So another test case can be, we can partition it at the third position, like at this position. After partitioning at this position, we have to assign there, that is whether the person is telling a truth or whether the person is telling a lie. The left word of the partition will be always the person who is telling a truth, and the right words of the partition or the person will tell a lie. Now again we have to count the number of real person who are liars here. So liars here are 2. So here there are liars greater than or equal to 1, so it is correct. There are liars greater than or equal to 2, this is correct. Now here number of liars should be greater than equal to 3, which is not correct, so this should be considered as a liar, but it is not, so this condition will not satisfied. Moving on to our test case, which is 1 and 1 comma 2, we can have partition at the first position, that is this will be considered as a liar, this will be considered as a liar. If this are considered as a liar, then he is saying that there is a number of liars here should be, number of liars really is 2. Now this person is saying that there is at least one person who is telling a lie. You are correct, because there are 2 person who is telling a lie, but he is saying correct statement. But if he is saying correct statement, then he should be considered as a person who is telling a truth, but we have assumed that he is telling a lie, so this condition is not satisfied, so this partition will not give us a valid answer. If we do partition here, so this will be considered as a person who is telling truth, and the right words of the partition will be considered as a liar. So now here the real liars are 1. So now he is saying that there is at least one person who is telling a lie. Yeah, correct, he is telling that there is at least 2 number of people who is telling a lie, but no, there is only 1 people, so statement is wrong and then he is a liar, so this partition is correct. We will output the number of liars in this case, that is 2, that is 1, sorry, this particular value. Moving on to the next case, which is 2 comma 2, we can partition at here, so here both will be considered as liar. Now real liars are 2, right? So the statement they are saying should not correct. He is saying that there is at least 2 number of person who is telling a lie, so it is considered as truth, but we have assumed to be as a liar, so this partition won't work. Similarly, if we do partition at here and partition at here, it won't work, so we have to output -1 here. So what we can do in our for loop algorithm, if we have this particular array, that is 3 3 5 5 6 6, we know that at each particular partition we have to find the number of liars. So we start from here, and we know that the number of, if we considered the left of it as person telling the truth, then 3 number of person should be liar, and here it is true, it is liar, 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 and liar. So we know the count of this much, that is n minus I minus 1. So we have to find whether this particular value n minus I minus 1, that should be greater than or equal to v of I, because he is telling a truth and this particular condition should valid. Now if the condition of person saying truth is valid, we have to find whether the saying statement of liar is not valid or not. So this, for this, the v of I should be greater than n minus I minus 1, because he is telling a lie and this, the statement saying that number of liars should be greater than equal to v of I. So by contradictory, the v of I should be greater than n minus I minus 1. So this was all about the solution of this problem. So you have to do only iteration at each particular point and find the number of persons who are right to it, and they will be considered as liars. And after finding the number of liars, we have to find whether the condition is satisfying for our case or not. That is, for each person who is telling a truth, the condition that v of I should be less than or equal to n minus I minus 1. This is the number who are the person who was telling a lie. The persons who are telling a lie should be greater than or equal to v of I. And for the liars, the v of I should be greater than n minus I. That is, the statement shouldn't be valid. Moving on to the solution. I have taken n as input and taken v vector as input, and then I have sorted the array. After sorting, I have find if the number of, if he is telling a truth or not. If he is telling a truth, then v of I should be less than or equal to n minus I minus 1. N minus I minus 1 is the number of person who is telling a lie at this particular partition, right? Now if number of liars are greater than or equal to v of I, then for the next particular person who are telling a lie, v of I plus 1 should be greater than or equal to n minus I. In this case, if both are satisfying, we will return the number of liars. Otherwise, at the last, if it is 1, 2, 3, if all persons are telling a truth, we have to find here the number of liars is 0, right? So if he is saying that number of liars should be greater than or equal to 3, if this is true, then we can direct output 0, right? So this was all about the solution of the problem. The main crux of this problem was this particular case, that is, first we have to sort the array and have to do the partition, and the left of it will be person who can be considered the person who is telling the truth, and right of the partition the persons can be considered as the person who is telling lie. And then after partitioning, we have to find whether this particular condition is satisfying or not. So I hope you like the video. Please subscribe to my channel to get further solutions. Thank you so much.